Belal Muhammad has been vocal about his desire to move up to middleweight and challenge Dricus du Plessis for a second UFC title. Joaquin Buckley is one of the few top contenders who has competed in both weight classes and has now sent a stern warning to Belal about the lack of success he'd find in the middleweight division.
You see Belal Muhammad talking about he wants to move up. He could be double champ. Belal, I'm gonna just warn you right now. You don't have the tools nor the weapons to beat a person like Dricus. You're not gonna be able to take Buddy down. I'm just being honest with you, bro. Nor will you be able to knock him out with them pillow hands. And no matter how much you think that I can see all the holes in this game, even if you beating up Dricus, like I said before, he's just gonna keep coming and coming and coming, and he ain't gonna stop. No, did you're gonna always have that constant pursuit after you. And if you don't have things that's going to hinder him or pretty much slow him down or stop him in his tracks, he gonna beat you. And he gonna beat you in a way where you ain't never been beat before. When you were 175, if you're moving up in a different weight class, bro, I'm telling you, bro, they hit a little bit different up there, bro. Trust me, I know. Why my ass went down to 170, I swear to God.
UFC welterweight champion Belal Muhammad is confident he can make Shavkat Rahkmonov fold. Belal is expected to make his first title defense this year against Rakhmonov, who's coming off a 5-round decision win over Ian Machado Gary at UFC 310. During a recent chat with Barstool Sports Chicago, the UFC welterweight champion acknowledged that Rakhmonov may be mentally tougher than his previous opponent, Leon Edwards. However, Belal remains confident that he can break Shavkat as well.
I mean, for me, it's when you're fighting a guy like Shavkat where they put him on this pedestal to be like this, undefeated, crazy guy. I see holes in his game. And the same way I saw holes in Leon's game, I think Leon's a better striker than Shavkat. But mentally, I think Shavkat's a lot stronger. Like, I don't see him breaking mentally. The biggest thing for him is now you're fighting a guy that's not afraid of you. Everybody he fights, they come in there with nerves and they're afraid. Oh, they put him on, oh, he's crazy, he's a robot, he's this and that. And a lot of guys will just fold just because out of that fear. So for me, I'm going to be in his face the whole time, and it's going to be the same result, like another guy breaking. And a lot of guys like him, it's like when you never felt that, where a guy's not afraid of you or a guy's still with you this whole time for 5 rounds and he's pushing a different pace that you've never seen before. And I'm supposed to be the undefeated guy. You never had experiencing that before. It's going to be the worst case scenario for him.
Luke Rockhold recently underwent nose surgery to address issues he's faced throughout his career. The former UFC champion had broken his nose multiple times and now he's finally had it repaired. He shared a video with the caption, "Reverse processing. Couple post-op presents still up there for the doc. Had to have surgery last week to fix my deviated septum. Been rough couple years on the break."
And 4 different types of sinuses, and then on each side.
4 different devices?
Yeah.
4 different angles?
No, oh, you mean 4?
I mean, because you always take different angles, I noticed.
Oh, 2. I usually use 2 scopes. Yeah, one's angled and one's straight. So I just did the straight one, and now I'm looking with an angled scope to make sure. Good.
Dan Hooker's accepted the fact that he may end up in hospital after UFC 313 clash with Justin Gaethje. Gaethje has 13 post-fight UFC bonuses to his name, whereas Hooker has engaged in some grueling battles against the likes of Dustin Poirier and Jalen Turner. That's why when the UFC offered him Gaethje in a 5-round battle, the Hangman knew exactly what they're looking for. Speaking to ESPN Fight Camp, Hooker said that he's come to terms with the fact that somebody is going out on a stretcher from the octagon on March 8th.
I know full well, 100%, that this fight is going to end, no matter whether his arm gets raised, my arm gets raised, and then I'm going straight on a stretcher, straight into the back of an ambulance, and I'm going to the hospital. So I've accepted, I've come to terms that that's how this night is going to end, baby. I've come to terms with that, brother. So I've embraced that. So if someone's not ready to go to the lengths that I'm willing to go to, then they're going to have a hard night. I know.
UFC champ Alex Pereira is an absolute unit, walking around at 230 pounds while fighting in the 205 pounds division. But what's even crazier is that he used to compete at 185 pounds in the middleweight division, which means at one point he probably had to cut about 50 pounds in the lead up to a fight. While every fighter has their own way of cutting weight, Pereira's method appears to be quite intense and the results sound borderline dangerous. Regardless, he seems to have done surprisingly well. Speaking to Mark Boris, Powhatan revealed that in the last 4 hours of the weight cut, he loses around 10 kilograms, which is 22 pounds.
How heavy is he? Because he's a big man.
Yeah.
He's a big man who looks quite... like you would never think he could be fighting at 93 kilos.
Eu tô pesando 105, aproximadamente 105 quilos agora.
He said 105 kilograms.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
He's 105 kilos day to day.
Yeah.
So he's got to drop like 15 kilos, or not quite 15, but 12 kilos. What period of time does he take to lose that weight?
Uma semana, né?
Última
Na última semana a gente faz a gente já tem método, né? Para desidratar o corpo.
He's saying that it takes him like less than a week. Sometimes, like, he said he actually lose 4 kilos in 4 hours, like a few kilos in 10 kilos, in 4 hours, like super quickly. They have a method that they use that he can lose very quickly. So it takes less than a week for him to lose all that weight.
Michael Bisping has shared his first thoughts on Anthony Smith's retirement fight that got announced on Monday. In his last appearance, inside the octagon, Smith will face 26-year-old Zhang Mingyang at UFC Fight Night in Kansas City on April 26th. Speaking on the latest episode of the BYM podcast, Bisping reacted to the matchup and gave props to Smith for accepting a fight against such a very dangerous opponent. Bisping also advised Anthony to take this fight very seriously and treat it as if he was fighting for the UFC championship.
Do you know what? We'll talk about this because people will expect us to, of course, and I wish Anthony the best. It's his retirement fight. It's in Kansas City, which is kind of like a home game for him, coming from Nebraska. Taking on Zhang Mingyang, though, hey, you can't say that Anthony hasn't got balls. This guy, I forget his record off the top of my head. Every single one of his wins has been in the first round. His last one was in Macau. I commentated it. I remember when he was giving his post-fight speech, screaming his head off in Chinese, and his veins are popping out of his neck. And I'm standing there thinking, this guy's a handful. He's a big, strong, young, aggressive bastard. Granted, he's got a few losses, but Anthony doesn't want to lay up. He could have asked for an easier matchup. So fair play to him. You know, so for Anthony, he's just got to go out and make sure he prepares the way he should, do all the work, be in phenomenal shape, don't get tired, and I wish him nothing but the best.
Here are the top 3 memes found on the internet. In third place is a meme posted by user MorphMemes. Second place goes to Meatball1999. And the number 1 meme was posted by a user named NeverEndingMMA. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with the latest MMA news.